All right, YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel for a brand new Pokemon investing and collecting video. And today I wanted to talk about 20 cards to keep an eye on over the next few months, because as you know, if you've been in the Pokemon hobby for a while, the collecting space and the value of cards tends to drop during the summertime in the US because everyone's spending their money on other things. They're going outdoors, they're committing to going out with jet skis and having all kinds of fun and things like that. So there is less money being put into Pokemon. So with that being said, when there are less cards being bought, the value of a lot of cards tends to drop over the summertime. So this is a great opportunity for you to pick up some absolute bangers in the next couple of months. And some of these cards have already started to drop in price. So we're going to take a look at 20 cards that I have picked out that I am personally keeping an eye on. And, this is not any sort of financial advice for you guys, but it's worth knowing this stuff because if there are cards that you are chasing, you can easily look this stuff up on TCG Player and see what cards are trending downwards and be ready to buy them when they hit their bottom. Now, some of these cards that I did leave off the list, that you might think should be on here, but they've already sort of started to go back up. So things like any of the 151 cards, they had a bit of a dip and they've sort of stabilized and gone back up a little bit now. So they're not on here because 151, it's the original 151 Pokemon. It is nostalgic to a lot of people and it's always going to go back up in value. So I kind of excluded that off this list. And there's only one sort of prismatic card or type of card on here, which we'll get to at the end of the video. But stick around, make sure you guys subscribe if you want more content like this. Like I said, we're doing a giveaway at 3K. So if you want to be entered in that, you do need to be subscribed. Leave a like and comment on this video, and I will choose one random person from the comments of all of the videos before 3K, and you will go in the draw to win that ETB. Now, jumping into the cards, let's start with Obsidian Flames. Now, the Obsidian Flames Charizard is obviously the big chase in the set. It is an absolute banger. I love this card. I think this is undervalued. For this card to be at $65 now, it is already undervalued in my opinion. It's a chase card. It is a Charizard that has proven itself time and time again that no matter what happens, a Charizard card is always going to go up in value when it is a top chase like this one. The special illustration rate, yes, Obsidian Flames had good pull rates and it wasn't as difficult to get this, but I think long-term in the future, we see right now the Obsidian Flames booster boxes going up. I literally have one on my desk over there. It's the only thing that I've actually been able to keep sealed in my entire time collecting, but it's one of those things where long term, when Obsidian Flames dries up, Charizard is going to go up in value. So this one, you can see it was at $83 earlier in the year. It is now sitting at $65. And I think over the next few months, we could potentially see this drop down to around about the $50 mark. So if that's something that you've been looking to pick up, it might be something to keep an eye on over the next few months. Also from Obsidian Flames, the Ninetales. This is my favorite card in the set. It is gorgeous. It is probably one of my favorite illustration rares, period, out of everything Scarlet and Violet. And it's only at like $22 right now. It did hit a high of 34, but it has come down quite a bit. It's seen a little bit of an increase here over the last few days, but again, that can easily go back down as well. And I think going into the summer, this may potentially drop back a little bit, which would be a perfect time to pick it up. And in my opinion, I think that's probably when I will pick one up for myself as well. I really want a graded version of this card, so I might look at some PSA 10s or potentially even try and pick up a clean copy for myself to grade. The third one from Obsidian Flames is the Houndour. Now, this one was so clearly manipulated. Like when you look at this here, how many of these were purchased between like Feb 2nd and Feb 22nd? This drove the price up to being a $32 card. Obviously, TCG Player has realized that this was such a clear buyout, and it's, all of the sales down here that were nowhere near what they were doing in that sort of 1 month stretch. It's dropped the value of the card back down to $8.64, even though it was up at like $30 at one point, which is ridiculous. But I actually managed to pull this out of a pack, which I was stoked about. I wasn't going to spend $30 on this card. And at $8, I still think it's a good pickup, but something to keep an eye on. It may still go down in the future as well. Latios, this one from Surging Sparks. I know my set lists are a bit all over the place here, but just ignore that. Latios from Surging Sparks is an absolute banger. You think of like the Lovebirds card, how much that's gone up in value. Obviously, that was extremely hard to pull, and this one probably isn't so much. But I think Latios and Latios would always go up in value as well, similar to like your Charizards and your Pikachus and things like that. Plus, this is such a stunning artwork, and it does pair up really well with the Latios Special Illustration Rare. Down 6% already in the last 3 months, so it has been dropping for quite a while. I would expect this to go a little bit lower, but again, if you can get this for around the $30 mark, I don't think it's a bad pickup. I think it's one that, you know, come next year or the year after, it's going to be up quite significantly in value. We're going to have those Surging Sparks reprints. Obviously, that's going to come through. That's going to dip the value even more. So that would probably be a good time to buy this one. Same with the Skarmory as the Ninetales, like I was talking about before. Such a gorgeous artwork. And I think anyone like me, I grew up with Gen 1 to 3. So seeing Skarmory on an illustration rare like this with such a cool artwork, it is definitely a card that I will be adding to my collection and, you know, potentially even getting it graded just for me as well. Not even from an investment standpoint, but just I think it's a really cool card. This one is, you know, down pretty significantly over the past couple of weeks. If we look at the 3-month chart here, we've got it at, you know, 23% down. I don't know if that's, yeah, that's reading right. So the 1-month chart, so it's 23% down in the last month. It did have a little bit of a correction back up here, but again, these cards could all go down in the summer. And I say could because it's not necessarily guaranteed, but from history and from what I've seen a lot of other YouTubers say that have been in the hobby a lot longer than I have, summer tends to be the buying period. So that's when everyone is sort of spending money on other things and a lot of the value of cards go down. So something to think about. Stellar Crown, Bulbasaur, down to $55 market price right now, potentially even dropping further. Bulbasaur and Squirtle out of this set, 100% are pickups. I've got Squirtle as my next one on this list. The Squirtle, surprisingly, actually just passed the Terapagos. The Terapagos has just been going like down so much lately. So the Squirtle is actually now the top card in Stellar Crown, which to me was mind-blowing when I saw that this morning. But still, I see it. You know, the Squirtle artwork is so cute. It's so cool as a Gen 1 Pokemon to see an illustration rare like that. So yeah, $62 right now. Could potentially go down a little bit further, but I wouldn't wait too long. I think Squirtle is definitely one of those ones that long-term, if you can hang on to it, it's going to be pretty valuable in the future. Same thing with the Eevee from Twilight Masquerade. This one is down a little bit at the moment. It is $71. But again, considering this card was $104 at the beginning of February, that it's now down to $72. You know, $100 on a card might have been too much for some of you guys. But if you can get it for like $60 to $70 as part of a deal, then I think that's a pretty good deal. And you can see the last month as well. It's just been going down and down and down and down. So there's nothing crazy going on now that the Prismatic hype is over. I think this Feb 1st was off the tail of Prismatic releasing. Everyone was looking at EV cards, and this one got bought quite a bit at that point. Like you can see here, right around like Prismatic time, everyone was loading up on EV, drove the price up to 105, and now that everyone's actually getting their hands on Prismatic, this EV card is being forgotten. So it's just dipping down and down, and it's one that I think during the summer I will definitely, well, during the US's summer, I will be picking it up. As you can see, I'm in a hoodie. It is getting cold here, so it's nothing crazy like that. I had Paldean Fates open because I had a few cards here that we were looking at. Probably the big bangers. Gardevoir is down like 3% in the last month, but again, it's a gorgeous card. It's hard to know whether this is going to go up or down. I hope it goes down because it's one that I'm potentially looking to pick up. And in talking about that, we've got to talk about the other two big bangers from Paldean Fates as well. Bubble Mew. This is making me sad that this is going down in value because I have one sitting at grading right now. It's been at grading for, I want to say, a month and a half already, and my estimated return date is May 15th. So I don't know what PSA is doing, but a 3-month backlog just feels ridiculous when other orders have like gone, been graded, and come back. So like, what's your ordering process there? I don't know what's going on with that. But again, it's making me sad that this is dropping down. But for those of you looking to pick this up, great news for you. It is on the way down. The last month, it is down 7%. So, you know, down to the 342 mark when it was all the way up here at 420. And again, if you're looking at PSA 10 copies of this card, like they're well under 1,000 now for a lot of them. So I think it's a good chance to grab one of these. Charizard, the final banger in Paldean Fates. I love this card. I think this is sick. It's very similar to the Obsidian Flames one, but I think this is, the colors on this are a lot cooler, and obviously a lot of people agree with me because of the price, but only up 14% in the last 3 months. The last 1 month, it's down 8%. So it's had a significant drop in the last month. That's probably going to keep going down again. So another one to consider there. Groudon, the illustration rare. This is the only one from Paradox Rift I had in here. Personally, it hasn't gone down yet. So it's holding pretty steady over the last 3 months. This has like a 1%, like minus 1% right now, but I just don't think that's enough to even comment on yet. But this is one I've only included it on this list because I'm keeping an eye on it. And it's a card that I really, really want. And I still buy packs of Paradox Rift, hoping that I draw it and I don't pull it. And it makes me sad. And then it makes me think I should have just bought the single because of all the freaking packs of Paradox Rift that I've opened and not been able to get it. So I don't know, something to consider. But if it goes down enough during this US summer period, I may grab it. I might just buy the bullet and grab it. Scarlet Violet base, the Gardevoir EX special illustration rare. Not down yet, like similar to the Groudon. I've pulled this card twice. I've pulled this card, and it is gorgeous, and I love it. But there is stuff that I love more, so I've been trading it in at my local card store and getting multiple other things that I really, really like. I think the last one I traded for a Jungle Vaporeon Holo and a few other cards as well on top. I think I ended up getting like 3 or 4 cards out of the trade-in for this, which, you know, lucky me, I got to add a bunch of stuff to my binder that was just for me. But this is definitely a gorgeous card in terms of Gardevoir. It is a popular Pokemon, and the artwork is really nice. And when you get these SIRs, like if you ever have pulled this card, the texturing and the shine on these cards is just next level. It looks so freaking good. So again, one to keep an eye on here. Only like $50 right now, which I think is pretty good. Might not seem like it to you, but I think that's pretty solid. Here's a few that are like kind of undervalued, but like if they do go down in the summer, that I think you should grab anyway. Like if you're looking for an investment, like Miraidon, Koraidon, and Great Tusk, the special illustration rares from Scarlet Violet base, they're already super cheap. And that's, spoiler alert, that's the next 3 cards on this list. So these 3 here, special illustration rares from Scarlet Violet base, I think they're already so cheap. Like the Great Tusk is $10 right now. Koraidon is $18 and Miraidon is $23, and they're special illustration rares. What happens when Scarlet Violet base is out of print? There's no more stock coming through. Cards are obviously going to go up when you can't get it anymore. But these 3 are harder to pull, including the Gardevoir. I guess you could probably include in this as well. Harder to pull, but these 3 are super cheap already. If they go down during the summer, like you could be picking these up. The Great Tusk you can get for less than $10. You probably get it for $5. You know, the Miraidon and Koraidon you can get for, you know, around $15 to $20. It's probably worth picking those up. And even if they don't go up a huge amount in value, they're super cool looking cards. Like I've pulled the Koraidon before as well. And I've seen the Great Tusk. I almost picked up the Great Tusk the other day. This is actually LP. Let me see what near mint is. Probably like 15. Oh no, it doesn't even change. It's like $10.80. That's crazy that the LP and near mint prices are so close together. People just, I don't think people like Great Tusk, to be honest, but it's cool. And like I said, even if they don't go up in value heaps, they look sick in a binder. They're really cool looking cards, and I will probably grab them. I think you can get the 3 of them for like $50, which is crazy. I added Articuno from Journey Together. I think Journey Together right now, the prices are still like pretty inflated, but this is my favorite card in the entire Journey Together set. Like, don't care about Lily's Clefairy, don't care about, you know, all of those crazy big cards that much. Like, cool. If I end up actually ever getting any Journey Together product, which Probably not. It's so hard to get cards these days. But if I actually ever open any, this is what I'm going for. Like, I'm not going for those big hitters. I would be happy with the big hitters because then I can trade them in at my local card store and get stuff that I actually want. But this Articuno is probably the one card from the set that I really, really want more than anything. And then to top that off, obviously it's already down 16% from release. Probably going to keep going down, I would assume. So if I can pick this up, it's $41 right now. If I can pick this up around the $30 mark, like I'll probably buy the bullet and just get it. And then this one's interesting because this is the box topper version of Ens Reshiram from Journey Together. And although it's not like a chase card, I think long term, if you keep this, it's worth having in your collection, like as an investment standpoint, because this is the first set that's brought box toppers back in a long time. Obviously they're going to be cracking boxes, and some of them are going to have this. There's obviously two versions of the booster box. Some come with the card, some don't. So being able to have this card in your collection would be really cool. And to me, that's something that interests me. It's down 68% from pre-release. So it was like a $70 card pre-release. It's now down to $20. $20.18 it's down to right now. So this is one that I'm keeping a very close eye on, and I will probably purchase pretty soon, because I think if you just hold on to this for long enough, it's going to go back past the value. Because a box topper, man, like it's sick and it's a cool artwork and it's Ens Reshiram. So, you know, do with that what you will. The Houndoom, again, hasn't gone down, but it's one I'm keeping an eye on. And then if we change to the 1 month chart, it's actually going down this month. It hasn't gone down past like the past 3 months low, but again, it's down this month. It's down 12%. So almost 13%. So it's something that I'm keeping an eye on over the next few weeks just to see if it keeps going down. And if it does, I love this artwork so much. I really want to pick this up for my personal collection. I just don't want to pay $40 for it. I might still rip some Shrouded Fable because I can still actually find it. But yeah, this is one that I've got my eyes on as well for a future pickup. And then this one, it's not just one particular card. It's all of them. It's all of the Prismatic stamped evolutions from the mystery box. These, I think all of them are $20 or less, except for the Umbreon. So I've pulled Espeon up here, obviously, but that's because that is the most expensive one other than Umbreon, and it's $19. So all of these could be picked up under $20 right now. They're already down a huge amount from pre-release. They were like 38. It's down to 19. The Umbreon's still sitting around $70, but that's because of the Umbreon tax, and we're all aware of what that is and why that happens. But yeah, the rest of them are under $20. So if they keep going down, $10, $15 per card, you can get all the evolutions there minus Umbreon for about under $100 probably if they go down this summer, which would be sick. And they would look awesome on a page together with all of them in a binder. I just think that would be really, really cool to have. So probably going to get these ones as well. But with that said, that was 20 cards to keep an eye on over the next few months, because I think their value is going to drop and it's a good chance to buy them and pick them up. If you enjoyed this video and you want more, maybe some from the Sword and Shield era or the X and Y era, or we can even go back further, I can always explore that too. Just let me know in the comments and I can go over those cards for you as well. But with that said, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.